Hey everybody. So we are here really in the doldrums of summer as far as the hockey world is concerned. There is not a whole lot going on right now. And I haven't done a Hockey 101 video in quite a long time. So I figured there's not much else to talk about. And it's good to add something to this series for the first time in a while. So today I want to talk about defensive zone coverage. Not only in the NHL, but in hockey in general. Because whether you're playing youth hockey, high school, college, or pro, pretty much at any level, while certainly certain coaches have systems and styles that they want to implement, the basic idea around defensive zone coverage pretty much all comes from the same basic idea. Now, obviously, it's most important to protect the areas closest to your net first and then work outwards, because the closer the shot, or the more dangerous the opportunity, and the better the scoring chance for the offensive team. So really you try and protect around your net, the slot area, the high probability scoring areas first, and then you worry about moving further out and protecting the entire defensive zone. But what most teams do that I can illustrate here on the board is what's called D center D defensive zone coverage. This is what I played when I played hockey pretty much the entire time. The basic idea is all there. And if you watch an NHL game, you're going to see pretty similar things. Now, NHL teams do have different systems. Some teams run man-to-man defense, which you very rarely see in hockey. I know that Anaheim at least used to do that from time to time. Maybe with a new coaching, they won't. But Anaheim was kind of like the first team that comes to mind when I think of man coverage defense in hockey and in the NHL. But you very rarely see that. Most teams are running, something close to what I'm about to show you. So here's the offensive zone: the blue line, the dot, the face-off circles, the net, goal line, everything, offensive zone. And by D center D, it basically means that the two defensemen and the centers are down low, while the wingers patrol more out here. And that varies team by team and coach by coach how much the wingers get involved. But basically, your D center D defense is, say, the puck goes into this corner, let's just say. So there's the puck up in the corner over there. And you've got an offensive player going to get it. The one defenseman will go play that puck. And then the center will also go with him and help him out. They both can go in and play that puck. So you have a defenseman and a center over there playing either the puck or the puck carrier if it's an opponent, if the opponent has possession. So those two are allowed to go over there. Now the center generally, if the first guy in there, which is normally a defenseman, wants to just make body contact, eat the puck along the wall, maybe get possession themselves, the center wants to really make sure that they keep the puck themselves between the puck and the goal or the slot area, any dangerous scoring area, because you do not want that puck getting by both of these guys, because that is probably most of the time going to lead to a quality scoring chance for the offensive team. So the defenseman will go right in and get in there. The center plays a little more cautiously, but is allowed to go over and help. And then the second defenseman covers in front of the net. Right there. They are responsible for any player in this area. If the puck comes into this area, anything like that, that other defenseman needs to stay in front of the net and guard the most vulnerable area on the ice. That is his job. And that's why it's called D center D, because you have the defenseman, the center comes over to help, and the other defenseman covers the front of the net. And that's really the basic idea. Now, the wingers, you have a wing up here and another winger here. That varies a lot coach by coach and style by style. Sometimes the wing coaches really want the wings to stay out near the point and really cover the other team's defenseman closely. And that's really what they focus on, is is staying out here and not allowing the puck to come to the offensive team's point men out there. When I was in high school, our coach was big on the wingers really staying out there. He did not like the wingers collapsing down deep and leaving the points wide open. He had the wings stay on those defensemen. Now, if the defenseman comes down, then the wing would obviously come with him because that's your guy. But he was big on the kind of playing that staggered defense out there, stay on that guy. Other coaches, like, being a Bruins fan, when Claude Julien was the head coach of the Bruins were a big-time defensive-minded team, and they really, played D-zone first. Those wingers would come as far down as they needed. They would easily be down to the tops of the circles like that, and they could come down all the way down this far and to help out if they needed to, if that's what the play called for. That more collapsing style defense is very popular among defensive-minded coaches, and those wings have the freedom to come all the way down if they need to and get into the play defensively, as long as it helps get the puck out of the zone. And that's what the kind of defense I watched, for a long time with Claude Julien as the Bruins head coach. They were very collapsing, and they would all come down into deep into the defensive zone to try and get the puck out. The wingers aren't as important as those defensemen in the center. And communication is vitally important among all of these players, because let's say this puck moves over to this side, completely to the other side of the ice. Now what happens is this defenseman goes to play the puck. The center can go as well, much D center, D, and then this defenseman rotates and is now responsible for the front of the net. So the guy who was just playing, the first guy in on the puck the last time, now becomes responsible for the front of the net. The guy in front of the net goes into the other corner, and then the center has the freedom to kind of roam between and just help out in any way possible, with the main goal being do not let that puck or a player with the puck get to the front of the net. And so you're kind of layered defensively, defenseman, center, defenseman as the last line of defense in front of the net, and that's why it's called D center D defense. And this is basically the main idea behind most defense zone coverage in all of hockey, is you have one guy get in there quickly, someone else go in to help him out, and then the third guy low, make sure you cover the front of the net. Now, some teams will allow maybe this defenseman to chase the puck and just have one person follow the puck and then the other defenseman stay in front of the net. Although that would get very tiring in many cases for the guy who has to follow the puck. So that's why you see the defense, usually they're on a rotating basis where whoever's side the puck is on, that defenseman goes and gets it while the other D-man covers the front of the net. It's just less tiring and less skating for those defensemen. Some teams will allow both defensemen to end up behind the net, although I'm not a big fan of that, and I know a lot of coaches are not a big fan of having both your defensemen behind the net. In that case, the center would be the one to then go and cover the front of the net, but most of the time your centers are forward. They're not as defensively apt as a defenseman is. You probably want your best defenders to being the ones covering the most vulnerable area on the ice. So I don't know many coaches that are big fans of having both defensemen behind the net. Generally, you want your defenseman and a center helping them out, and then the other D-man in front. And then the wingers, it completely depends on the coaching, how far up they stay or how far down they come. That's completely stylistic to the coach and the system that they are running. But it mostly, the whole basic idea stays the same, and that's mainly what I wanted to talk about. So if you watch an NHL game and you see a team with sustained pressure in the offensive zone, watch what the defense is, the way that the defense covers it, and the way that the defense tries to keep everything to the perimeter. You'll hear that a lot if you're listening to the broadcast. They'll say, well, so-and-so say the Florida Panthers have had really good zone time, but the Washington Capitals have done a very good job of keeping them to the perimeter. That means that they're keeping the puck on the outside, along the wall, up on the points, down in the corners, but they're not letting the puck get to the middle of the ice, because that is the most dangerous area that you do not want the team getting opportunities from. So, basically the idea of this defense is to be pressuring the puck or the guy with the puck, while maintaining, this middle area of the ice being very protected and not allowing scoring chances from that area. So that's pretty much it. If you're watching any game, you'll probably notice that when the puck gets dumped in or someone has the puck, you'll see one defenseman go and play them. The center will probably go with him and help that defenseman out. And then that other defenseman will be in front of the net or covering somebody near the front of the net. And their job solely is to do that and protect the front. And then if the puck comes to the other side of the ice, you'll see the exact same thing, except there'll be a rotation. That other defenseman will then go attack the puck. The center, who has to do the most skating out of anyone on the ice, will go with him and help out. And then that other defenseman who was attacking the puck, when it goes to the other side, will then become responsible for the front of the net. So that is D center, D defense. That is the basic hockey defense at pretty much all levels of ice hockey. Certainly, coaches tweak things and make adjustments here or there. There are different systems and different styles that every coach likes to run, but your basic idea for defense is going to largely revolve around what I just showed you. The wingers have the coaches have a lot of freedom as far as how much do they get their wingers involved, or how much do they keep them more up at the point. But the D center, D down low is largely universal in hockey, and very, pretty much every team runs some form of that kind of defense. So next time you're watching a game, just kind of pay attention to that. When the puck's in the offensive zone, watch the defensive team and see how much do they chase, how much do they stay kind of structured, and, do they always have that defenseman in front of the net while the other two players going at the puck? That's what most teams do. Or do they do something different? But it's a fun thing to watch, and when you play hockey, you certainly have to understand it. The players on the ice have to know what their job is, what they're supposed to be doing, and they need to communicate with each other, because hockey is a very fast and free-flowing game. They got to know where to be on the ice. If you have a breakdown in this defense, say all three players, both defensemen and the center, get caught behind the net, now you have no one covering in front, easy goal for the other team. If they get caught in a corner, or if the defenseman is slow getting to the front of the net where he's supposed to be covering, a lot can happen where this defense breaks down, and then you very often get goals for the opposing team. So it's very structured, and everyone on the ice has to know what their job is and what they're supposed to be doing, because if they don't, it's very easy to get running around, and if you start running around, you're very likely to end up with the puck in the back of your net. So that's it for this video for Hockey 101, D center, D coverage, the main basic idea behind defense for all across hockey, for a lot of teams and a lot of players. And that's pretty much it. So like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are in the description as well. We are on our road to 1,000 subscribers, so please, if you can help out with that in any way, please do. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it educational. And next time you watch hockey, maybe pay a little more attention to the way that the defense covers in their own zone, because you're likely going to see some variation of this. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.